Lord Buddha, one of his famous quotes was that life is dukkha or suffering. Based on Brahman Yoga, you've explained to me in the beginning, you're not born in this life to suffer. And we know that Buddha was also following the teachings of Brahman Yoga, essentially. So why would he say something like this? What did he mean?
First of all, let me ask you, Ali, where did you get this information that Buddha said life is suffering? He never meant that. And also understand that all the siddhas, like self-realized souls like Buddha and many other in our lineage, they spoke in terms and things that were relevant in those times. And if you look at which is like documented evidence, Buddha spoke contradictory stuff from his own speech at many different times. And it was only to give some wisdom to the people who were sitting in front of him. So it was meant to give information, give wisdom, impart. Depends. See, for example, he goes to a group and in this he does know at what level their consciousness is.
Right.
So they give them a certain message, and then they will understand it, and they'll go to another group where their level of consciousness is different, and his words will be different, message will be different. But the key thing, principles behind each message will still be the same. And as we know that Buddha got into the spirituality at a young age, he was a crown prince, and he was kept away from any suffering by his father, knowing because the fortune tellers had told him that if he kind of experiences any pain or suffering around him, he will turn spiritual. And he didn't want that to happen. But one day accidentally went out. There's a story that he saw an old man, he saw a sick man, he saw a dead body which he had never seen before. And that transformed him so much that soon after he ran away from home to become spiritual. So for him, suffering was not the key. Suffering was not a norm. His whole journey was how to rise above this suffering. If he had accepted suffering, he would have stayed home and say, okay, I'm going to suffer too. But his whole journey was why. And his whole goal of self-realization was to rise above this, to get out of this cycle of suffering, life and death. So, and if you look at the whole life of Buddha, after he became self-realized, he never stayed at one place. That was his rule for his disciples. They would never stay at any place for more than a few days, so that there is no attachment ever happens to anybody. And he was constantly traveling. And at every place that he went, based upon the need of those people or the group or the community or the place that he went to, he changed his message a little bit. But the crux of the whole wisdom that he imparted, which made the life beautiful for so many people and does it to even today, was the basic fundamental was the same. To watch the full podcast, click here. And to watch our previous podcasts, click here.